If you were to ask me what my favorite thing Seth MacFarlane has ever done is, my answer would probably be The Orville. This feels like a television series he's been wanting to make for a long time, and his passion for science fiction comes through in every episode. While the show certainly has a fanbase, I feel it does not get nearly enough attention, and most potential viewers seem to expect it to just be Family Guy in space, which is understandable. So I wanted to talk about why I think the show works. What's evident from almost the beginning is that this is Seth MacFarlane's love letter to Star Trek. You can tell he and the rest of the team worked really hard to evoke the feel of Star Trek. How much is it like Star Trek? It's a lot like it, with only a few different names and design choices to prevent a call from the Paramount lawyers. I should mention that the first couple of episodes have that familiar MacFarlane sense of humor, with some lowbrow jokes here and there. However, at a certain point, the Orville relies less on that sort of comedy, and the humor instead mostly comes from the characters' personalities and their workplace. I get the feeling MacFarlane knew Fox would not approve a more traditional science fiction series, so included a few Family Guy jokes in the initial episodes in order to get the green light. And then after a while, he will be able to remove many of those. There are even later episodes that don't even have jokes at all. Seth MacFarlane has said that beyond homaging Star Trek, he also wanted to create a science fiction show with a more optimistic view of the future, as he had gotten tired of seeing mostly dystopian depictions. And I think he succeeded in creating a Roddenberry-inspired future, with the message being that with time, humanity does improve and lessen many of its problems. However, there are certainly conflicts, as was shown in Aliens, who are mostly interested in creating war with other planets. Something the series nobly focuses on is the way different cultures come together. In multiple episodes, the crew of the Orville comes across an alien race with less progressive views, and they try to figure out a way to handle this in the best manner possible. The characters in the Orville are also well written and given properly established personalities. The lead protagonist is Captain Mercer, and the show does a good job of showing him growing in his role as captain of the Orville. We see him constantly have to make difficult decisions, and Seth MacFarlane does a good job at depicting the seriousness with which he takes his job and the respect he has for his crew, along with occasional humorous scene. Other pivotal characters include his first officer, Commander Grayson, the helmsman Gordon, and the ship's doctor, Claire Finn. One of the standout characters is Bortus, the second officer. He belongs to an alien race that prides itself in only having males, but as the show plays on, we learn they're not as they seem, and it's fascinating watching his development over the course of the show. There's also Isaac, who comes from a planet consisting entirely of robots that consider themselves superior to everyone else in the universe. He might have the most interesting arc of the series, and I have to give a lot of credit to Mark Jackson, who plays Isaac both physically and vocally. The mannerisms he crafted for Isaac add a lot to the character, and the bond he forms with Dr. Finn provides many of the emotional high points of the show. A recurring character in the Orville is Yaphet, a gelatinous alien voiced by Norm Macdonald, in what would sadly turn out to be one of his final roles. Even though he's not one of the central characters, he goes through his own development over the course of the show, and Macdonald gave him a lot of personality. The action sequences are stellar, especially when the Orville launches into battle. For something made for television, the special effects are on par with what you might see in a Star Wars movie. It honestly has some of the best CGI I've ever seen in a television series, and the effects team pulled out all the stops for when we see the ships swooping and shooting at each other in certain episodes. The music also plays a role in upping the excitement level. Bruce Brown wrote an excellent theme, with other composers like John Debney and Joe McNeely doing great work as well. What I most appreciate about the Orville, beyond the characters and production values, are the philosophical questions it asks. Seth MacFarlane has never been subtle about his politics, and those show up here as the show explores concepts like how much one should meddle with another society's viewpoints and the lasting effect of religion on the world. Science fiction as a genre has always been used to project a political idea, including Star Trek, so these themes are not unique to the Orville, but the show handles them well. It also tackles other concepts, like how to deal with time travel shenanigans. After running for 2 seasons on the Fox network, the Orville moved to Hulu for its 3rd season. This gave MacFarlane the freedom to make the episodes even bigger in size and scope, and he did a great job. Whether there will be a 4th season depends entirely on if Disney is satisfied with the streaming numbers, but we'll have to wait and see. I hope we will get to see the Orville take off again, but I guess it would be fitting for a show heavily inspired by Star Trek to last only 3 seasons and yet still manage to attain a cult following. If you have not seen the Orville yet, I do highly recommend it. It's a very smart and even quite heartwarming show with plenty of funny moments scattered throughout as well. Thank you for watching.